Good morning, students. Now, in last video we discussed about midpoint theorem and how to explain midpoint theorem. Today, as you are observing, we are going to discuss first question of exercise 11 that is given in your book. It's a exercise number 11, first question. In this question, it says that in the given figure, that figure is given to your book. I am drawing the figure on board. That in this figure, ABC is a triangle. ABC is a triangle, and question says that D, E, F are the midpoints on the side BC. D is a midpoint of BC. E is a midpoint of AC, and F is a midpoint of AB respectively. This is the question. And also says that if AB equals to 6 centimeter, the measurement of AB is given to you. It's a 6 centimeter, and BC equals to 4.8 centimeter. BC equals to 4.8 centimeter, and CA equals to CA or AC consists of 5.6 centimeter. Clear? So question says that find the area of trapezium FBCE and a triangle DEF. Means what? So what is our work? This is given part. Construction part is we join DEEF, DEEF and FD likewise. No? First thing. Now first question is about trapezium BCEF, or according to it's FBCE. How we find out the area of the trapezium, perimeter of the trapezium FBCE. As we know from midpoint theorem, F is a midpoint, so FB, we can write down that AF equals to FB equals to half of AB, that is your 3 centimeter. Okay? Now next one is your about BC is given to you for trapezium. I am talking about BC is given to you, it's a 4.8 centimeter, and in case of this AE equals to EC equals to, it's a 5.6. It means what? 2.8 centimeter. Why? Because E and F are the midpoint. E and F are midpoints. Now it says that find out what is the area of trapezium. Still, we'll first prove that whether the given particle is trapezium or not. As we know from midpoint theorem, EF parallels to BC, and also from that theorem we can say that EF is half of the base BC, half of BC, that is EF equals to BC is your 4.8, so EF equals to 2.4 centimeter. So perimeter equals to perimeter of trapezium. I am talking about perimeter of trapezium. You can write down perimeter of trapezium. FBCE perimeter of trapezium FBCE, what we can write down? At this FB, it's a 3 centimeter plus this is complete 4.8 plus this one is your 2.8 and this one is your half of this one, it's a 2.4. Add its 8, 8, 16, 4, 20, 2 carry, 3, 2, 5, 4, 9, 11, 13. 13 centimeter. This is the area of the trapezium. Hope this question is clear to you. Now next part of the question is we have to find out the perimeter of the triangle DEF. Perimeter of the triangle DEF. So from midpoint theorem, see how I am applying midpoint theorem. From midpoint theorem, we can say, see here, this is half of this, so we can write down EF equals to half of BC, and the measurement of BC is 4.8, so half of 4.8 is your 2.4 centimeter. Again, in case of DE, this is a triangle and these two are the midpoints. So whenever we join this DE, this is half of AB. So half of AB, and as we know that AB equals to 6, so DE equals to 3 centimeter. And similarly, FD or DF, if we see DF, these two are midpoints, so this is half of AC, half of CA, and CA equals to 5.6, it's a 2.8 centimeter. So perimeter of triangle DEF equals to, it's a 2.4 plus 2.8 plus 2, it's a 8, 4, 12, to 1 carry, 2, 4, 6, 1, 7.2 centimeter. This is the answer. No, wait, it's a 3. It's a 3. This is your 3. So it's a 8.2 centimeter. This is the answer of the very first questions. Now next question is third question. Very important question. In the given figure, D and E, these two are the midpoint of the side AB and AC respectively, and DF parallels to BC. It's given to you. Prove that DBEF is a parallelogram. The first thing to prove that this is a parallelogram, DBEF is a parallelogram, and calculate the value of AC if AF equals to FC. So we'll start. As we know that D is a midpoint, it's a converse of midpoint theorem. As we know that D is midpoint and DF parallels to BC. It's given to you. So from converse of midpoint theorem, that opposite one, converse of midpoint theorem, we can say that F is a midpoint of BC. F is the midpoint of BC. Hope this one is clear. Now once we are able to prove that F is a midpoint, it means what? Therefore we can say that DF equals to half of BC from midpoint to the, once we are able to prove that F is midpoint and these two are parallels, F is a midpoint, so DF equals to half of BC, number one. But as we also know that E is a midpoint of BC, so DF equals to BE. Why? Because F is midpoint, sorry, E is midpoint of BC. E is midpoint of BC, so BE, not BF, so BE equals, E is the midpoint of BC. Now we can say that DF equals to BE, and also we know that DF in DB EF one pair, that is, so DF parallels to BC. It means what? It's also parallels to BE, and DF equals to BE. So DBEF is a parallelogram. Number one is clear. Hope this one is clear to you. Next one, as we know that we already proved AF. No, AF. So F is midpoint of AC. We already proved previously from converse of midpoint to them. So AC is twice the AF. It's a 2 into 2.6. It's a 5.2 centimeter. This is first third. Now see the question number 5th of exercise 11. This question says that in a quadrilateral ABCD, PQRS are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD and DA respectively. Question says that they are different parts. So first we will prove that SR parallels to AC and SR equals to half of AC. That we can prove from midpoint theorem, this one. So here we can write down from midpoint theorem as we know S is midpoint of AD, and also we know that R is midpoint of CD. R is the midpoint of CD. So we can say that SR is equals, first thing, SR parallels to this base AC now, and SR equals to half of AC. This is from midpoint theorem. And also this is case of a triangle ACB. This is case of triangle ACB. Now in triangle, see the next one, ABC. We can give the heading. This one is heading. In triangle ABC, we can say that P is a midpoint of midpoint of P is a midpoint of AB and Q is a midpoint of BC, that we know. So here we can write down that side, that we know that Q is a midpoint of BC. So here, and this is your base, so we can write down PQ is parallel to AC. PQ is parallel to AC, and is from midpoint theorem. And PQ equals to half of AC. It's from midpoint theorem. From midpoint theorem, that you know. Hope this one is clear. Now come to this side. Since this PQ is equals to half of AC and SR equals to half of AC, so we can write down, so SR equals to PQ equals to half of AC. This one is clear to you? Now next part says third, it's a first part complete. Now next part says, first part is this one, second part is this one. Now third part says that prove that PQRS is a parallelogram. How we can prove that PQRS is a parallelogram? As from midpoint theorem we know that SR parallels to AC. SR parallels to AC. And AC is also parallel to PQ. AC is also parallel to PQ. What does it mean? It means that SR parallels to PQ, and we already proved that SR equals to PQ. So PQRS is a parallelogram. It's proved. Question number 5 proved. Now hope you are able to solve question number 1 to 5 by yourself, all those questions. Remaining question we'll discuss in next video. In last video we'll discuss question number first and third, and also question number 5. In this video we are going to discuss some more questions. Remember, you have to solve. Many questions are given, but at least up to question number 8 you will solve in your fair copy. Now see question number 7. In this question it says that the side AB and BE, these two are medial. What does it mean? It means that D is a midpoint and E is a midpoint. D is a midpoint of BC and E is a midpoint of AC. This is given to you. Now question asked in question number 7 that if DF, this line DF is parallel to BE, this is given to you. Prove that it's given to you that DF, this line, is parallel to BE, and we have to prove that CF equals to 1/4 AC. It's very easy, but it will focus on two things, that what to prove and how to prove. So first we'll start that in triangle BCE, first we start from this triangle BCE. In triangle BCE, we can say, we know that DF parallels to BE. It's given DF parallels to BE. It's given to you. DF parallels to BE. It's given to you, and if this line is parallel to this one, and we know that D is a midpoint, again converse of midpoint theorem, D is midpoint of BC. Therefore, from midpoint theorem we can say that DF equals to half of BE and F, that is F is midpoint, so we can say that not DF, CF equals to FE, means what? From midpoint theorem. From midpoint theorem we can prove these two things, that DF equals to half of B, CF equals to FE. Now again it is given in question that E is midpoint of AC. Now E is midpoint of AC. So what does it mean? It means that CE equals to EA. Now here we can write down CF equals to half of CE. Clear? And we also know that CE is a half of AC. So we can write down half of AC. Or we can say that it's a 1/4 AC. It's a proof, no? It's a proof. This is we have to prove, and this is your question number 7. Now next question is question number 8, and it's the most important question. We will solve at least up to this question. Now in this question number 8, it says that in A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. It's given that A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. Clear? E and F are midpoint of C. E and F are midpoint of AB and CD. So we can say that AE equals to BE and CF equals to FD. It's given. Now question says that the straight line AF and BF meet the straight line ED and EC at point G and H respectively. These are the points intersecting point G and H respectively. Question says that prove that first one HEB congruent to HEB congruent to HFC, not SCF. So how we prove that these two are congruent? So we can write down in triangle HEB and triangle HCF, HFC. What we can write down? First thing, that as we know AB equals to CD, because ABCD is a parallelogram, so we can say that AB equals to CD. E is a midpoint. We can write down BE equals to CF because it's a midpoint of opposite sides. Midpoints of opposite sides of parallelogram ABCD. This is clear? These, as we know that these two are equal, so half of these two is also equal. We can write over here also that half of AB equals to half of CD, or we can say half of AB equals to CF equals to BE. This is clear? Then next one, as we know these two are parallelogram, so equals to angle HEB. It's alternate interior angles. This is alternate interior angle because these two lines are opposite sides and parallel to each other. It's a part of ABCD parallelogram. So these two angles are equal. Now come to these angles. Angle CHF equals to angle EHB. Why? It's a vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. If it's a vertically opposite angles, then we can prove triangle HEB congruent to triangle HCF by angle side. Angle side by angle side concept. First part is complete. Now it says that next one is GEHF. Next one says that GEHF are parallelogram. It's a part of parallelogram. So for proving this, we use midpoint theorem. Let me erase this one. Now to prove that GEHF are parallelogram is a parallelogram, first we take the triangle AFB. In triangle AFB, as we know that E is the midpoint of BA. E is midpoint of BA, and also from congruency we can say that H is midpoint of BF from, because why? Because triangle HEB congruent to triangle HCF, congruent to triangle SCF. Clear? So from midpoint theorem, it says as we prove that these two are midpoints, it means what? HE parallels to, because the name of this triangle, to HE parallels to the third side AF, and if HE parallels to AF, so we can say that HE equals to half of AF, the first thing from this triangle AFP. Similarly, clear? In triangle DEC, F is midpoint. F is midpoint of DCD. This is given to you. F is a midpoint of CD in CF equals to FD, and again from that congruency triangle you can say that H is a midpoint of CE. H is midpoint of CE and why? Because H triangle HEB congruent to triangle HCF. Like this, na? H is a midpoint of not only BF but also the midpoint of CE by CPCT. So it's clear. Once these two are the midpoints, so we can again by using midpoint theorem we can say that HF parallels to DE and HF is half of DE. HF equals to half of DE. This is given to you. Now from these two we can say that these two are parallel and these two are parallel. So we can say that last line. So GEHF is a parallelogram. So GEHF is a parallelogram. Why? Because these two sides are parallel to each other and these two sides are parallel to each other. Because if ED is parallel to HF, it means EG is also parallel to HF. Clear? And similarly, if this one is parallel to this one complete, so this one is parallel to this one also. So GEHF is a parallelogram. So hope you are able to understand the concept. Need not to solve more, solve up to question number 8 for this time. That's all for today. Thank you.